Welcome back to Politickin.com, your home for self-help meets hip-hop. Make sure you check us out on Amazon, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Music. 1 2 1 2. I'm place to be with Jay Cacao. How you doing, bro?
How you doing, sir?
Well, we actually got another person too, man. So
Welcome back to
like her name is
Clarissa.
Clarissa. Yeah. So yeah, she's a special guest too. Like I said, she's the first time. So. Can you let anybody know what's going on right now? Anybody that's watching it, can you tell them know what's going
All right,
on?
so anybody that's going on, that you basically you're watching an interpretation of the interview. I am an American Sign Language music artist, and so I try as hard as I can, as best I can, to provide equal access to deaf folks. I know there are some that follow me. So I just want to make everything equal and accessible for them as well. There should be some captions that will be provided for this interview as well once it's done.
And then why is this important to you?
Oh, it's important to me, one, just because that is a particular group of people that's near and dear to my heart. You know what I mean? I am what's known in the deaf community as a coda, a child of a deaf adult. Meaning both or one of my parents are deaf. And in my particular case, both of my parents are deaf. And I was born hearing. So, I have a soft spot in my heart for deaf people in particular. So yeah, anything I do in terms of, especially musically or anything like this, I think it's important to have that equal access, so they can know what's going on, just like you or I, as hearing folks.
And then so how was that growing up with your parents being deaf and you hearing?
It was different. It was definitely different. I guess I've been signing before I could talk, you know what I'm saying? Like, it started out with baby signs more and milk and little stuff like that. But I guess I really didn't realize how different like my family was until like, later on in years when you really start noticing like other families and, even other Black families that I would see, I would notice that they're not the same as my family. You know what I'm saying? Just from the way my mom communicated, just to the deaf culture, period. You know what I mean? There's just a different particular way that of things that's done. You know what I mean?
And then we were, like I said, we have 2 newborns and we're trying to teach them sign language. So can we get some tips?
Start now and be consistent. You know what I mean? Especially with the baby signs, because a baby's brain is pretty much like a sponge at this stage in their development. So language acquisition is actually really, really good for them at this point. The earlier you start them, and the more you maintain that with the consistency, they'll pick it up. You know what I mean? It's ASL is pretty much a use it or lose it type of language. So it's just got to be something that's pretty much consistent. But at this point, especially since they're not even able to speak basic signs like milk, more, please, little stuff like that they can start to pick up on, and they'll pick up on it. You know what I mean? You just got to kind of drive it home with them.
So how did you get involved with music?
Well, I've always listen to music, listen to hip hop and stuff like that. My sister, my sister grew up listening. All she played was Whitney Houston and Toni Braxton, and all my brother played was Wu-Tang and Brand Nubian and all those different types of guys. But as far as me actually making my own music, that didn't happen until probably about a couple of years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, when I was living in Maryland at the time. Shout out to the DMV. I know they don't particularly say that out there, but I loved it out there. But I was working at a high school out there as a counselor, and one of my best friends at this point, at that time, he was a math teacher, like an assistant math teacher. So we linked up and we just got real cool, and we found out, that he produced beats, and I was trying to get into that. And the first time we actually made music together, it was a poem that I wrote. I've only written maybe 2 or 3 poems in my life. And the producer's name is iamthebighomie. So I'm just reading my poem to him, and he's making the beat as I'm reading the poem. You know what I mean? I ended up turning that poem into an actual song. And that was the first time I recorded something. And that was about 3 years ago. So I've been writing for about 3 years as far as learning the craft of just writing. And then producing, I've been learning to produce for the past probably about a year and a half, 2 years, something like that. So
how would you describe your style to people?
My style, I guess you could say I'm more on the conscious end. You know, I like lyricism. I like lyricists and different stuff like that. So I don't know. I guess smooth. My voice has been described as sultry. So I guess smooth and sultry. I like to rap. I like to sing. I'm still trying to find my sound, to be honest, because this is all kind of new to me. So I'm still trying to discover that within myself. And as time goes on and I'm recording more and just learning my particular sound, you know, that's basically just what's going to come out. You know what I'm saying?
Then what's the meaning behind your name?
J Cacao. So cacao is actually chocolate before it's milk chocolate or the chocolate as we know. You know, it's a fruit. It's a fruit. You know what I mean? It grows on in the ground. It's called a cacao bean. And basically when you can eat it raw, when you eat it, it has a little bitter taste to it. Like, you ever been in the grocery aisle and in the candy aisle and they have like Godiva, the Godiva chocolate products, and it says contains like 70% cacao, 80% cacao, whatever the case may be. So a young lady that I was dating like a long time ago, one of her friends, she said she was walking down one of the grocery stores and she saw the Godiva chocolate. I think it said contained like 100% cacao or whatever. And she said when she saw the bag, she thought of my skin complexion. So that name was actually given to me, and I just threw the J on it. You know what I'm saying? So, because I started out like on some model stuff. You know what I'm saying? Trying to model, trying to be in commercials and different stuff like that. Just playing around with different stuff, and I did that for about a year. That was fun. You know what I'm saying? And then when I moved to Maryland, that's when I started kind of tapping into the musical side of me. You know what I mean?
You ever you was in LA for a little bit?
I was born in LA. Yeah. I was born out there. 80s baby. You know what I'm saying? So I was born out there during the crack era and all that stuff. So in the Rodney King riots, all that stuff, huh?
Where you from?
So I was born on Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard over in the jungles. Oh. So I lived over there. I moved from there when I was like 10 though. You know what I'm saying? Moved from the jungles. And then I moved to Wisconsin. I was out there in Milwaukee for a good 2 or 3 years. And then we moved to Ohio. You know what I mean? So we bounced around a lot, for real. Like, moved a lot.
The jungles, ain't that where Denzel was at on training day?
Yep. I'm the jungles, yep.
That's where you from?
Yeah. I was born out there.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's King Jr. Boulevard. Yeah, back in the 80s. You know what I'm saying? But I got out of there early. You know what I mean? My mom moved with my stepfather, guy that she met at the time. He moved us out to Wisconsin. You know what I mean? And I've been Midwest and kind of eastern side of the country hopping since then. You know what I'm saying? So
is it like how you were saying, you said you're a coder?
A coda, 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 child of a deaf adult.
Y'all gonna say, was it like a reason why? Did they ever explain to you how it happened where your parents were deaf but you wasn't? Is it like scientific reasoning behind that?
There's a lot of different reasons and cases for why deaf individuals become deaf. I'm not an expert on it. I just know from what my mom told me. 90% of deaf people come from hearing families. Now, there are those cases where, you have generationally deaf people. But as far as like, my mom told me that she caught spinal meningitis. Yeah, and when she was younger. But there are various reasons for why deaf people become deaf. I believe there's a scientific term called connexin 26. It's like something in the genes. That is what affects deafness from what I've read and from what I've heard. Again, I'm not an expert. I don't know for sure. But it's called like connexin or connex something 26. It's something within the genes that pretty much is what causes deaf folks to go deaf. If not true, whatever.
I was listening to this one, I think it was Joe Rogan, but he was talking about how, like, say you're deaf, but that kind of like enhances your other senses. So I guess it's a pool player where he's deaf, so he just takes out his hearing aid when it's time to play, and he just can zone in because he can't hear nothing anyway.
Well,
So
I'll say this. Growing up in a deaf household, like you would think it would be easy to like sneak around and do stuff like that. And to some degree it is, but I believe my mom is like a superhero. Sometimes I don't even believe that she's deaf. You know what I'm saying? Just because she just it's instinctual. It's something within them. Like they feel the vibrations a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? Even with music. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a thing. It's called dip hop, deaf hip hop. You know what I mean? So you have deaf individuals that are starting to record music and rap and different stuff like that now too. You know what I mean?
yeah, I remember my brother-in-law, he make beats and he had the backpack. And
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what you got that for? And he's like, so we can feel the beats. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of what you talking about. I was thinking
Mm-hmm.
about that.
Yep.
So I was saying, so what you working on right now, man? So you got a video, very special video. Name of the video is called "Vibe Save Our People," and I know you made it like especially. You did it for the made it accessible to the sign language community as well.
Yeah, I mean that's what I do. You know what I mean? Pretty much any or every song I'm gonna do, I'm gonna incorporate accessibility for the deaf community. I feel like it's my responsibility, especially as a coder, to provide that access. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a spokesperson for the deaf. I'm not even a spokesperson for coders or nothing like that. This is just something that I feel that I need to do. But VSOP, Vibe Save Our People, actually the how that came about was interesting, man. Like, so I wrote the hook for that last year. That was like maybe a year or two ago. I wrote the hook for it. And big homie, he played the hook on his IG story and he tagged me in it. And I was like, oh yeah, send me that. So I ended up writing to it, and pretty much within like an hour, you know what I mean? I wrote the 16 to it because the hook was already done, and I added my little extra stuff in it, and that was pretty much done. So that's how that came about. What we actually have in the works right now is a song called Grind 365. The same weekend, and this is dope. And I'm gonna tell the story any chance I get because it's actually the first time I've done this. So the weekend, the video was shot by a guy named iamthebighomie. He based out of Maryland. Dope videographer. And the song is with me and a guy named Uns, who's also based out of Maryland. Big homie made the beat. So they all came down. I think it was probably sometime in February. Well, no, I want to say January. They came down for a weekend. The original intent was to shoot VSOP, but like they came down on a Friday. Big homie made the beat for Grind 365, and me and Uns wrote our verses and the hooks and all that night, and then we ended up shooting a video for it. So within like a 35-hour time frame, we made up a song, made the beat, wrote the hooks and all that, and shot the video for it. You know what I mean? So that was my first time actually doing something like that. So that was pretty dope to me. So that's gonna be the next project that gets released. It's Grind 365 with me and Uns. Produced by iamthebighomie, shot by iamthebighomie. And I got a couple other stuff in the works too. Some stuff I'm gonna keep under wraps until some things are solidified. But I guess I'm working on some stuff. It's gonna be a hot summer. It's gonna be a very interesting summer. Because this is gonna be the first year that I'm actually like consistently trying to put out music. You know what I mean? I have 3 releases, including VSOP, but before that I had 2. My first track I ever put out was called Blue Juice. And I made that in honor of my fraternity. I'm a Sigma, a member of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated. And our fraternity drink is blue juice. You know what I mean? And I make some pretty good blue juice. So I wanted to make a song. It was for Watch the Yard. I don't know if you're familiar with Watch the Yard. It's a handle on IG. They had a jingle contest. So I figured that would be a good opportunity to kind of showcase just what I'm trying to do. And that was the first time I actually, wrote a song, all me, and then signed to it. You know what I mean? So that's kind of the lane I'm trying to put myself in. And the next song,
is that the fraternity that wears blue?
Yeah, royal blue and pure white. Yep.
Yeah, okay. I know what you're talking about.
Blue and white.
What school did you go to?
Slippery Rock University. It's out in a small school, PWI out Pennsylvania. Played ball there as well, all 4 years.
Football or basketball?
Basketball. Yeah, I played basketball.
What position?
Shooting guard.
That's what's up.
Yeah, the 3 mixed between the 2, 3, and the 4.
I'm like, nah, I'm messing with you. I would say so. So what's next for your as far as your goals with your career?
Goals for my career, just to grow and learn, man. This is all new. You know what I'm saying? This is all new as far as songwriting, as far as producing, as far as just the entertainment side of things. You know what I mean? I'm really trying to get a handle and learn the business side as far as being an independent artist and everything that comes with that. You know, I'm enjoying the process though. I'm enjoying the people that I'm meeting. And obviously I get to bring just different things that people may or may not have seen before. Like you said, this is the first time you've actually had an interpreter on your show. So just doing different stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? Just to make people more aware, just to get people to notice different things, you know what I'm saying? Because deaf people are around, they're out here, and they're here. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out Waka Flocka, because I remember a couple of years ago when you remember that when he
The interpreter, yeah, that came out like 5 or so years ago. And everybody tags me in that joint every time they see it, or anytime somebody sees something remotely related to sign language, they tag me in it, which is dope. I appreciate that because that means that they think of me to a certain degree when they see something. So that means that they paying attention. But yeah, I noticed that. Yeah, I mean, and you're seeing that more and more. You know what I'm saying? You're seeing a lot of that more and more.
The name of the hip hop is again?
Oh, dip hop. It's deaf hip hop.
Is it big?
It's getting big. It's something that's new. Some of the front runners, you know, that I kind of look up to, and that is a guy named Wawa, Warren Snipe. He's a deaf actor. He's a deaf actor, rapper, whatever you name it. He's doing his thing, man. That's like Big Bro, you know what I mean? So he's been kind of schooling me and helping me through some things and kind of helping me get my bearings just in the realm of dip hop. Another guy named Matt Maxey, definitely dope. He's actually the first guy that I saw just kind of just bringing the ASL flavor to just hip hop. You know what I mean? As far as signing other artists, music and different stuff like that, doing cover songs and stuff like that. And I thought that was pretty fascinating. You know what I mean? When I first started trying to do this, and then it got to a situation where it was just, you know, I wanted to get deeper with my creativity. You know what I mean? And I figured if I could write my own stuff and at some point produce my own stuff, everything will be done, you know, organically and original. You know what I'm saying? And I haven't seen much of that done from anyone in the rap industry or any type of musical industry in terms of them writing, producing, and, you know, signing their own music. So that's the level I'm trying to get to. You know what I'm saying?
So who your top 5 artists right now?
My top 5 artists right now?
Yeah.
Right now? Right now. Right now. I don't really listen to too many folks for real. Like I got old school folks in my catalog, man. Like I've been listening to who I've been listening to. I've been listening to Big Pun lately for real. Just trying to digest some of his lyricism. But my top 5 right now, I say Drake, because he always at the top right now. That's different from my all-time list. But I say Drake, Lil Baby, what's old boy named Don Toliver. I like Don Toliver a lot right now. Who else, man? That's 3. Can't think of nobody else. See, I hate being put on the spot like this. Well, let me see who I got in my playlist for it. Who I've been listening to lately in my playlist. Been listening to some Big Crit, a little bit of Big Crit. I mean, that's pretty much it for real. I mean, I try to listen to a lot of guys that not a lot of people listen to. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a guy out in Pittsburgh named Chris, one of my big bros. He's one that kind of motivated me to get in the game too. He's dope. Couple cats, man. Couple cats.
What you know about Big Crit?
Little something. I don't know too much about him. I'm not gonna sit here in front like I'm a Big Crit big time fan, but I like what he does, man. I like his flow. I like his sound. I like his sound, man. That Catalactica is real dope to me. that's one of my favorite albums by him.
Yeah, I was gonna say when I think about it too, I think like this is actually like the music industry or just, you know, hip hop or music industry in general is very dangerous for your hearing. Because I don't know if you remember Foxy Brown. She lost her
Mm-hmm.
hearing.
I heard she was hard of hearing. I
Yeah,
heard
so
she
I
was hard
wonder,
of hearing.
are you like aware of that too? And then like, do you try to preach like safety in when you listen to music and stuff like that too, or?
I mean, I guess I never really thought about it from that aspect, but there's always, you always got to take precaution when listening to music. You know what I'm saying? And I don't even know if you remember. You remember that old TLC video? Uh, I think it's called "I'm Pretty" or something like that, where Left Eye
Yeah,
was
I'm pretty.
signing.
Yeah,
Left Eye was
yeah.
signing in that joint. Yeah, that's one of my favorite videos just because she's signing in it. You know what I'm saying? And I think there's a couple other music videos where they have sprinkles of ASL. I think Common with his Come Close to Me. He was talking to a deaf girl in the video, just little stuff like that.
All right. Then what's some of your interests outside of music? Your other interests?
Uh Outside of music, I mean, I'm pretty boring, man. But I mean, my actual passion and my job is working with the youth. You know what I'm saying? Working with at-risk youth. I am in a management position at a facility in North Carolina. I can't say where specifically it is for all that stuff, but I work with at a juvenile correctional facility, dealing with that population of youth. Pretty passionate about working with that population. My background is in social work. I have a master's in social work, so I've always had an affinity with dealing with that population.
That's what's up. All right, man. Then anybody like that you like? What name some future collaborations? Like anybody who would you like to work with in the future that you haven't worked with yet?
Artist wise, and shit, I wouldn't mind working with J. Cole. That'd be dope actually to work with J. Cole. Who else, man? Lena Jackson. That'd be dope to get a track with her. She's a dope artist out of North Carolina. She's dope. Would love to get a track with her. So at this point, I'm open, man. I'm just trying to get exposed to the just to networking and working with folks, man. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna look up. I think I had I'm gonna look up. Yeah, I had her on the show.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, Linda Jackson. I had to look her up to make sure. Yeah, yeah, I had her on the
she's
show.
a dope artist, man. She's extremely lyrical. She's dope, man. So I would love the opportunity to work with her.
All right, man. So describe your creative process a little bit.
Well, the way I was kind of trained for real, you know what I mean? The big homies camp, I guess I'll call it. It was he would be making a beat, he would be cooking, and I would write on the spot. You know what I'm saying? Whatever we kind of feeling at the time. And that's kind of how it's been going. And that's how I've been making my tracks. I'll hear something and then I'll try to come up with a theme or a situation and write based off of that. And then that's kind of the easy part, you know what I'm saying, in terms of writing it, because then I got to break it down into ASL. And with VSOP, the interpreter that we have here, Clarissa, she actually helped me kind of break down some of the signs for that song. That's why I felt like she, the perfect person to be here interpreting this would be her, because she helped me out a lot with it. Okay. But that once writing the bars, I feel like that's the easy part. And then once you got to break it down into ASL and then kind of swag it out in your own individual way, and you got to have it make sense, because the English structure and the ASL structure are two totally different things. You know what I mean? It's different. And it gets complicated when you're kind of using both sides of your brain to give equal access to communication. You know what I'm saying? But by the end of it all, once I pretty much have the signs down and I kind of can swag it out and kind of have it gelling and kind of groove into the beat, and it actually makes sense in the ASL structure, then I'll kind of hammer down the signs and kind of go from there. You know what I mean? But I just feel like once I have a good set of, if the music is good and people are vibing to the music itself, whether they're deaf, with the bass, or whether they're hearing with the lyricism, the signs are going to take care of themselves, because all my videos that I post pretty much are going to have ASL in it, captions, you know, either one or the other or both in most cases. You know what I'm saying?
I was about to we about to roll out, but I was gonna play that video and we talk about that and come back.
Okay.
The VSOP.
Yes, sir.
All right, yeah, I'm about to share the screen. We'll go into that. Let me share the screen right quick. All right. All right, I'm gonna play it right now. All right.
Going after
wrestling. I was watching wrestling. Wrestling for the interview. You watch wrestling?
I used to, man. I used to. It's been a while since I watched it.
Man, let me find it. I think I gotta. I had it up. Let me get it again. I had it already up. I don't know what happened to it. All right, we finna go into it right now, though.
For little disclaimer.
Let your conscience keep you fly. Let your conscience keep you fly. Let your conscience keep you fly. Let your conscience keep you fly now. Let your conscience keep you fly. Feeling real bugged out, now I'm all drugged out. Reaching for the sky, and while the stars get to align and creases, I'm inside, all in the cut with nada but prayers and bloods. Wishing for a vibe now. Let your conscience keep you fly. Feeling real bugged out, now I'm all drugged out. Reaching for the sky, and while the stars get to align and creases, I'm inside, all in the cut with nada but prayers and bloods. Fishing for a vibe now.
sipping Coronas and fishing with lassos. Had to reel it in cause I sink and swim hooked on some last hope. Baited by drama, but even then nigga was shook by the look of the path chose. Got my knees in but my back froze. Feeling defeated, I crash slow. Feeling defeated, I crash slow. All of the breathing last though. Enemy on the attack, go. P-Lick with Big Hobie and Bass don't sleep. Told me to just let it breathe. I just sat back and the track chose me. Writing remedies, flowing in symmetry. Just know the winning team know what the business be. So keep trusting the energy.
Let your conscience keep you fly. Feeling real bugged out, now I'm all drugged out. Reaching for the sky, and while the stars get to align and creases, I'm inside, all in the cut with nada but players and blunts. Fishing for a vibe now. Let your conscience keep you fly. Feeling real bugged out, now I'm all drugged out. Reaching for the sky, and while the stars get to align and creases, I'm inside, all in the cut with nada but players and blunts. Fishing for a vibe now.
Yeah, I feel like you kind of well, it's probably you doing it on purpose, but it's like you almost teaching people during the video the words and stuff.
Yeah, and the thing too is I'm not signing exactly what I'm saying, because that would be a translation. What I'm doing is interpreting it. So basically,
video still playing. My bad.
So basically, I'm taking my lyrics and I'm telling the story with it in a way that the deaf would understand. So I'm not exactly sign, so I don't want people to think that if they hear a particular word and they see me sign it, that's the sign for it. That's not the case all the time. You know what I'm saying? In a lot of situations, I'm going to be interpreting it, which means certain words that are said in English, they have to be basically structured a certain way in ASL in order for deaf people to understand it. So basically, I'm taking my bars and I'm turning it into a story. You know what I mean? In a way that's interpreted and understood. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I said it's tight because it's almost like you adding another layer. Because it's like you gotta listen to the rhymes, but then you gotta be looking to see what you doing too. So it's like you're adding another layer to the music.
Yep. takes a lot of brain power, man. It takes a lot of brain power for those interpretations. That's why, you know, I don't mind asking for help. I don't mind acknowledging that, because ASL is a beautifully complicated language. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I don't have a problem asking for help or something like this, because my view in terms of my language acquisition and what I think a particular sign means to me could be interpreted a totally different way to somebody else. So that's why it's important to have maybe an extra set of eyes on it, or an extra set of ears on your project. You know what I'm saying? Just in terms of that help, because they may be able to catch something that you miss. You know what I'm saying?
Now, how did you meet Carissa?
I met her through a program that I'm in right now. So there is an interpreting organization and firm called Sorensen Relay Services. And they offer a program called the Compass Program. And that program is an interpreting training program built specifically for CODAs, individuals like myself that were born from deaf parents. You'll have ITPs or interpreter training programs, but a lot of those programs aren't really made or tailored for CODAs. They're really made for individuals that want to know ASL and want to become an interpreter that don't come from a deaf background. So Sorensen offers a program specifically for CODAs, and the professors in there are CODAs. The curriculum is specifically made for CODAs. And Clarissa was in that beta program for that. And our mentor got me linked up with her, and we've been kind of cooling ever since. You know what I mean? Just networking and working on different projects here and there. So whenever I need assistance with just clarity on certain signs and stuff like that, she's one of my go-to people that I go to, just to make sure my hands is on point, because I'm extremely paranoid about my signing clarity and just making sure that it's understood for equal access purposes.
So what would you like to say to your fans and supporters?
Thank you for watching. Thank you for believing in me. And stay tuned. Stay tuned. It's gonna be a hot summer. We got some good work coming. We got some good work coming, and a couple surprises that I'm excited about. So just stay tuned.
All right, man. I want to say thanks for politicking with me.
Appreciate you.
You want to give me your social media and everything?
Yeah, so I can be found on IG at jcacao, j.cacao. Again, that's jcacao, j.cacao. I can be found on TikTok at Cacao Style. That's CACAO STYLE. Same thing for Facebook as well. My Facebook page at Cacao Style, CACAO STYLE.
You got any shout outs?
Shoot, shout out to Big Homie. Shout out to my mama. Hello, mama. I'm here. I made it. Shout out to Uns. Shout out to Lena Jackson. Shout out to just everybody that had something to do with just, you know, Big Hing, man. Audio Hing, man. That's, hey, if you need a videographer, get with that man. That man is a beast with that, with his drone and all that stuff, man. That's who was able to make that video happen. And shout out to God, you know what I'm saying? Because without him, you know what I'm saying, I wouldn't be in this position. You know what I'm saying? This position to even be trying to make something happen right now. And I thank you, Miss Clarissa. Thank you. Much appreciated. Yeah, that's it.